Hey everybody. So glad to be back. I've been so busy. I took out time from work and then took out time for myself and then I did not know how to act to come back. But I'm back, y'all. So we're going to be talking about Ursha and his interview that he did with Forbes magazine and how he pretty much is showing support for the diddler. So it states that Usher urged people not to forget Diddy's greatness because of how he's been represented. I don't understand what that could mean and his greatness. I don't know anything that he's done for the community, and I don't know how he's been represented or misrepresented when Ursha, baby, we seen the video. He said, I put respect on his name. And the thing is, for me, you guys, is this is us witnessing men submitting to each other. Because if this was a woman that had him seeing things that he wasn't supposed to see or did something to him that he wanted to express himself about, he would definitely tell that story and throw her under the bus and would not be on here saying anything of the sort of her her being misrepresented or he respects her greatness for what she did. So it goes on to say that I don't have anything negative to say. Ursha urged people not to forget the greatness, yada, yada, yada. He said, that's what I chose to remember. I put respect on his name. As you know, Sean Diddy Combs and Ursha go way back. Mhm. Ursha was introduced to Combs as a teenager in the early 90s when he first signed a record label deal. Combs, who is 9 years older than Ursha, mentored the R&B star and produced his self-titled debut album in 1994. In the past, Ursha has spoken about the year he spent living with Combs in New York. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He spoke about how he saw things that he shouldn't have saw, correct? He was just 13. 13, saying on more than one occasion that he witnessed very curious things taking place during that time.
And understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So
It was
nobody
crazy.
tried.
It says that there were very curious things taking place,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't necessarily understand.
And before y'all start wondering why his parents didn't step in or get him out of that situation, Usher actually explained that part too. According to him, his parents had no idea what was really going on because Diddy made him keep it all under wraps. He was basically told not to say anything, so he hid the truth from them at the time.
Okay.
So a mentor makes you lie to your parents about what he exposed you to as far as intimidation, sexual intimidation, because that does exist, and something that could scare you as a 13-year-old, not knowing what is going on and not understanding and being able to comprehend what is happening around you. I mean, yes, that would make a 13-year-old afraid of, is this going to happen to me? And what is going on? Because you're somebody that they trust as a mentor, and here you are sexually abusing them mentally, and we don't know how far it got as far as that goes. He said in the article that he got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it. He told Howard Stern in his 2016 interview. I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. But he convinced him to lie to his mother and convinced him not to tell his mother what he saw. This is how predators gain your trust to see if you're the kind of person that will tell it or will not tell it. And when you don't tell it, then they keep up this same strategy.
They ain't know nothing about.
Oh,
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure y'all saw that viral video when Diddy hinted that he and Usher used to sleep in the same. Allegedly, Usher contracted herpes during one of those so-called freak-off sessions when he was just 15. Word is, Kim Porter knew about it and was planning to include that info in a book she was working on before she passed away.
So what was in Kim's book? You want to hear it? Here it go. Now, I cannot confirm or deny what's in this book, but ain't nobody fit Natasha K. Me. So in this book, it detailed his relationships with men, footage of those encounters. It had the names of the men he slept with, a disease. Allegedly, Diddy giving Usher a disease.
But y'all want to know the really wild part? It's that Diddy himself doesn't have herpes. This means that Diddy was not the only one who allegedly did bad things to Usher during the freak-offs, and he could have pimped Usher out to other men at the freak-offs. And considering the long list
and the content expressed in these videos are those they are alleged and expressed by those in this video. Okay.
of men at Diddy's freak-offs and the wild things they were rumored to have done, it's no wonder that Usher caught something nasty at the freak-offs. And now, the streets are saying that Tamika just exposed Usher for having some other STIs over the years. And allegedly, not just one, but multiple. I guess we shouldn't be surprised, because y'all know that Usher himself likes to be freaky-deaky. I mean, I know y'all remember his freaky cherry stuff he does at his concerts.
Yeah. And so since then, a lot has come to light about Diddy's alleged behavior. Starting in late 2023, the mogul was hit with an extensive allegations of rape and assault. But let's rewind back to talk about what they said when he was talking about what happened at Diddy's house in that infamous Kevin Hart video.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Fresh
off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and.
He said they used to who or what?
I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to.
I feel like Diddy said that on purpose. You know how people will know he's when you're around somebody that's very calculated and very manipulating, they know what they're gonna say before they say it. So I believe he did this on purpose to Usher to embarrass him. He learned very well from his Epstein Zaddy, okay? So I believe he said that on purpose to embarrass Usher for whatever reason, or to let him know that I could put you on blast at any moment and it wouldn't mean nothing to me.
Fight over the frosted flakes, you know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented, you know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early. And now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
what the fuck did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen.
We're having a good time, yo. Your Usher made it in the... Hey, yo.
Yeah. Even Kevin Hart tried to tell him, man, you said it and we heard it and it's what it is. Like, you can't take that back. And who is that behind him in the shadows? But that was Trey Songz. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness. This is just getting so messy. But in the article, it goes on to say, since then, the law has come to light, as far as we know, is the allegations of rape, assault, and abuse spanning over the 20-year period. He has denied the allegations in September 24, 2024. He was arrested and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Less than a year Later in July of 2025, he was found guilty on 2 federal charges of transportation for purposes of prostitution. He was acquitted of the more serious charges. The former rapper is currently incarcerated at the Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey, serving a 50-month sentence. Now, Usher has talked openly about his decade-spanning relationship with Combs and explained why he doesn't have anything negative to say about his disgraced mentor. So, in a new interview that he did with Forbes, senior writer Jabari Young played game of word association with Usher. And when he said Sean Combs' R&B single, one word response was child legacy. Mm-mm. Let me tell you why they do these things, okay? Even though, sometimes things can happen to you, but you can choose whether to be the survivor or you can choose to be the participating monster. Usher saying he saw a lot in Diddy and at his home, but Usher always wants us to forgive him and chooses to say his legacy and tells us that he's been represented for his past transgressions so he can have a legacy is only because this is how they want us to forgive them. This is how Usher wants us to feel about him also, because he may have participated in some things allegedly, as we see what's surrounding the gossip around him and Bieber. We have yet to, as far as get detailed information on whether the altercation between him and Bieber is true. But there is a video going around, and lately we have AI messing in everything. And I feel like sometimes people say this because they want to ready us up, and so that when their things come out, we can be like, well, this is their legacy, and they were misrepresented, like how you do with the old boy that's in jail. Also, the whoa, that do right there, that Kells, the Pied Piper, yeah, because they say that said that about him, and that's why a lot of people out here saying they're gonna still play his music because they say the same thing about him too. Correct, legacy and misrepresented because of his past and what happened to him. But instead of him recognizing that, even R. Kelly, instead of him recognize what happened to him, getting help, dealing with it, he decided to be a predator and monster and continue on the cycle of evil. And that's why people always use these advanced words to help them so that when the stuff come out about them, then you can be reminded, go back into the book and say, well, he did say a while ago that, we should forgive Diddy, and because he has a legacy and he left behind all this great music. It wasn't even his music. It was music that he helped produce and that he robbed the people that he signed under him of their legacies and of their rewards from the music that they sing, that they had their blood, sweat, and tears over, and somebody losing their life over music. So he does not have a legacy because he had people working under him to help him get to where he got. Usher, you did work for what you had. You were the artist. You sung the songs. So it's like you're trying to play a game, but people see right through it. I know I do, because it doesn't make sense as to you trying to sugarcoat it and make us feel like he deserves any kind of sympathy from us that I'm not going to give. So I'm gonna share my video and go to the 20, I think it's a 22-minute mark of the interview. Hold on.
Be bold, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes tear through this idea of like the standard, right? What's appropriate. Change comes, from being bold and a bit disruptive.
Somebody's gonna have to be
challenging the standard. But I think ordained because I know that there is a covering over who and what I am. I do want and wish well for people. I want to be respected for what I do, but I want to be remembered for what I did.
No man makes it by himself. You know, you alone. So, you know, I owe a lot to a lot of people, adopted family who you brought in. And so when I say these names, you tell me the first word that comes to mind, and I'll start with Jermaine Dupri.
Oh man, that's my brother.
Brother, I love it. L.A. Reid. He was one of the first, and you and your mom to kind of develop the idea, right? With Sean Wilson, what's the word that comes to mind when you think of him?
Greatness.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that. Sean Combs.
Sean Combs. Legacy.
Legacy. I asked that because, you know, when I was researching you, I found this interview from 2015, I believe, or maybe even further, where it was in Philly. It was during your tour, and I'm listening to it, and it said, you know, all of the things that were going on in New York at that time. I quote, "I knew better. Maybe it was those valuable lessons in integrity in Tennessee, and furthermore, I knew what the hell I wanted. I didn't want to go to New York for the experience. I wanted a career, right? I could have gotten to a lot of stuff, but I chose a different road. I had a plan. I had a focus, right? I wanted to get it done, and you avoided a lot of the negativity that we obviously know shows up in his story today. Young kids, how do you talk to them about avoiding that negative like you did because you had your path?"
I mean, this might be a bit controversial, but in the same way, I think many people choose to look past the reality of what our country is, the standards that we now stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history, but in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted and maybe not recognized for the greatness that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, you know, misrepresented.
See, and that's why I have to stop him because, see, your experience isn't everybody else's experience. And you deep down inside know what your experience or experiences were. So it's easy to say that, and it's easy to say history and being prosecuted. You say all of that, and we saw what we saw. We saw this.
I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made for us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who transition.
Seriously? Are we being for real right now? Recognizing him for what? He robbed his artists, Usher. He robbed those people. So he didn't contribute anything to them. He whatever was earned or given, he put that in his pocket. Those people don't have legacies. What about those artists? What about Total? What about all these other artists that have come before? You just were one of the lucky ones that made it for whatever reason.
Ideas into something that's tangible and becomes business. So many people benefited from what he created. And I acknowledge that. And that's why I see him as legacy.
Yeah. You told Shannon Sharp you learned a lot about business during that era.
Absolutely.
What'd you learn?
Puff was a mentor, but he was like a, you know, you had that really, really hard teacher, you know, but you're watching something in real time. You know, I think that the idea of the level of discipline that came with that time in business, especially in an era that was trying to prove itself culturally in hip hop. Now, you can't turn on the television and not see the influence of hip hop.
That's right.
But the people who actually made that appropriate and are the forefathers are people like Sean Combs. And not just in the great times that they had musically, but in the idea of being able to find ways to monetize culture and create something that was not just Black or white. It was colorless. It was green. That's who I see that man as. And that's what I choose to remember. I put respect on his name because I realized that, you know, what I learned as a businessman before I even understood what business was, came as a result of seeing the incredible things that he was able to do and the way that he positioned himself as a businessman. There are trials and tribulations that come with the pressures of success and power. But what we choose to do with it is what I hope that you see with me and hopefully all the people that I'm in.
He chose to abuse his power. Yeah, your friend, your mentor, your bestie, the person you go way back with. He chose to abuse people. He chose to take advantage and manipulate certain people. He chose to disgrace people. He even embarrassed you with the Kevin Hart video. Yeah. However, you trying to make him look good, opposite of everything you're saying.
Involved with, right? Big Sean Wilson, the Boys and Girls Club. They're doing things that I think are positive with the power and access that they have.
Well, staying on the business tip right fast, man, and get you out of here on some fun stuff afterward. But
So that was the end of that. Yeah, and everybody's like having a field day with it because it's like, have you not seen the videos? Have you not seen the allegations? Have you not seen the artists and the people that he had TV shows with make outrageous complaints against his behavior? And yet you're choosing to sit here and make us believe that it's something different than what it is. And that's gaslighting. I mean, if he's holding anything over you and y'all got a quid pro quo situation going on, please just say wrong, you're right, you're wrong. Because when you covet for somebody, it's only a matter of time. Sometimes karma can skip them and hit you just to get out there what it needs to get out there in the truth. And I have other videos as far as people expressing their thoughts.
Stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history. But in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted and maybe not recognized.
And what does it have to do with the state of our country comparing P. Diddy's situation? We're in the middle of economic failure, crashing everywhere. Countries don't want to do deals with us. We got the Epstein files out here going crazy, to which your friend is implicated on and exhibits some of the same behaviors as far as recording you all and putting stuff away for safekeeping to use against you. So, of course, people would be speaking in light of P. Diddy because, God forbid, if they should be found out on their transgressions, for them to set up the boomerang for you to go back and say, well, they have a legacy and they were misrepresented when all this different stuff, the same thing that they did with R. Kelly, it's like a forever repeating cycle, and they're looking for their pick me's and men and women that will support all of this nonsense.
For the greatness, that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented.
Misrepresented? I'm sorry, Usher Raymond, but I'm going to need you to elaborate on that because I'm trying to figure out how you could misrepresent something that was caught on video. The tape of him and Cassie at that hotel is literally on video, and we've seen it with our own eyes. This is really wild, because why would he post this and say, Usher's like, I don't want people to know what he did to I'm a grown man now, my is off limits. Like, is you cool? Like, what? What? And for context, what he's talking about is a recent interview that Usher did where he said that he has absolutely nothing negative to say about Diddy. Nothing at all. Now, although there were no specific allegations about Diddy doing anything inappropriate to Usher, people often question the fact that Usher was sent to Diddy's house for what they called a camp when he was a teenager. There was also a video clip that was circulating where Diddy said something about them being in the bed fighting over Cocoa Puffs at one point, and people thought that the behavior was concerning. And Usher did come out and outright say that if he had the chance to, he would never send his kids to Diddy's house because he witnessed a lot of things that he thinks he shouldn't have seen as a child. But I just feel like this is beyond trolling. 50 Cent be on people's neck.
And he never forgets. That's the thing about him. He never forgets. And that's the thing that they think that nobody's gonna. But let me tell you something that somebody they haven't. Now this is alleged, but here are some pictures that kind of go hand in hand. Let me show you something. Okay, you see that lawsuit claim against him with the green monster, and then somebody else has something else in common with that. Let me show you. Yeah, see that? That he knowingly infected accusers with the green monster, they say. Over the first 2 days of the singles trial, Geronda Pace testified that Mr. Kelly told her to dress like a Girl Scout and gave her an SMRE at 16. Oh, yes. But wait, there's more. Here's a video.
Should we talk about it? Yeah, let's talk about it. I briefly discussed Usher in my Diddy essay allegations video, but y'all wanted more, and honestly, I don't blame you because I'm nosy as fuck too, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about Blind's history, we're gonna talk about Usher's herpes lawsuits, we're gonna talk about allegations, and we're also gonna talk about his allegedly inappropriate relationship with Justin Bieber. Y'all, I do not know these people. Everything in my videos is alleged, everything on my page is alleged. Let's fucking go. Now, y'all know that Usher was discovered as a teenager by Lee Reed, Jermaine Dupri, of course, Diddy himself. At the age of 13, Usher was sent to go live with Diddy. This was so that he could quote-unquote learn the lifestyle. Usher has been very vocal in recent years about the kind of things he saw while he was living at Diddy's house. As a teenager, he says he was exposed to sex parties, drugs, alcohols with all types of famous celebrities. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I would consider exposing a 13, 14-year-old to sex, drugs, alcohol as grooming. But that's just my opinion. 2004 starts with Usher and Chili splitting. Now, we know from his album Confessions that he had allegedly been cheating, he had gotten someone else pregnant, and allegedly it said that he had left Chili with an STD. Keep in mind, he doesn't get sued for this herpes stuff until 2017, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. 2004 is also the year where blinds and rumors about his sexuality begin. Talk about this more in my Diddy series, but allegedly around 2007, blinds start showing up about alleged PEDO events. Allegedly involve Diddy, Usher, Chris Stokes, and other black athletes and celebrities. Allegedly, these events involved people that were highly, highly protected, would often get, delays in court hearings and were paying parents off quite often, etc., etc. 2008, it's alleged that Usher is running a call girl ring with 10 different condos in 3 different cities. This is very similar to blinds that have come out about Nick Cannon. If y'all want me to do a deep dive on him, I can totally do that. In 2010, it's alleged that at his birthday party, he demanded from the staff that he only be served by really attractive women. Allegedly, these women could not make eye contact with him or any of the other celebrities that were there. They could not speak unless spoken to, and everything had to be done before they had to ask. In 2013, it's alleged that his ex-wife Tamika, who he had already had a messy divorce with, was blackmailing him. From a private detective, it's alleged that she had acquired tapes and videos of him with other men. In the blinds, it states that him having sex with other men isn't really the issue, it's the fact that it's young men. In 2014, it's alleged that he sets up a foundation that is looking for aspiring singers from underdeveloped countries. It says that he will fly them out, they will work on songs and recordings over the weekend at a hotel, and then he will fly them back home. Same year, it is alleged that Usher was caught at a bar in Atlanta in the bathroom giving head to a bodyguard by a complete stranger. 2017 is the year he gets sued over herpes. It's alleged that after the lawsuits were made public, there were other well-known rappers and celebrities who were concerned that they may have been exposed because they had had sex with someone who Usher had had sex with. Primarily, this was rapper Fabulous, Flo Rida, and A$AP Rocky, allegedly. I really, really wish TikTok still had like a 10-minute option, but it doesn't, so I'm gonna have to make a part 2. I will make it for y'all right fucking now, okay? Go watch.
And so in this video, we need to be following okie dokie, these men coming out here making excuses for each other, submitting to each other with their heads at each other's waist down. Okay? I'm sick and tired again with them saying, this is my mentor. Way back, I saw some things, yet they have a legacy and represented, and that makes sense to us. And like that is something we're supposed to forgive. We saw, the world saw the video, okay, of what Diddy did. We saw this. And yet you sit here and say, no, I'm gonna say this. Usher went to Las Vegas and just took y'all money on it, your face and show his ass. It seems like the older these men get, the more of an asshole they become, and the truths come out. He is in jail because he is guilty of, unfortunately, Usher. You have to come to grips with and to an understanding with. And another thing that if you or yourself participate in something, you will have your day as well. But if it happened to you, then you have the open floor to come forward. Just like just like the public would tell us daughters that we uphold, tell the truth, and protect them by exposing situations. So me and son, Trisha has son, now has a daughter, and he set an example for them that somebody does something for you, have the right to speak about that, because you don't have the right to expose the situation that will damage you growing up. Because let's say nothing happened to Ursha and that he was simply exposed. Sometimes being exposed will get you up for situations to act over sexualized to where you don't know how to sit down and keep your pants zipped because of all the things that you saw coming up at 13, no less. And so he owes anybody, especially speaking on, I'm trying to set up something for the community, he said, which means that even furthermore pushes the point that, yeah, you do have to correct anything that you have in your background to set an example for anybody, because you can't help anybody if you haven't helped yourself. And you can't make people tell you truths when you haven't told your truth. So that is all I have to say. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. It's great to be back, and I'm glad to hear from you guys. Please like and subscribe. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in for what it's worth. And yeah, I will try to be back with another video. Until then, guys, you have a great day. Okay?